Hey, what is up, guys? It's Guiltspire here, and welcome back to Dead by Daylight. Hope you all are having an amazing Sunday afternoon. With that being said, do want to welcome back Fire Gems, who is here again as a co-host. How are you doing today, Fire Gems?
Doing pretty good. It was a really long day, but I'm really happy to be here.
Happy to have you here as well. And, I feel that the long day was streamed by an Isaac prior to this, but hopefully it's going well at the very least.
Yeah, it's going pretty well. Hope your day went well, too.
Yeah, can't complain. But with that being said, we are getting this match set up as we speak. Today's matchup is between Dead on Second Hook and We Can't Loop. Very, very, very excited to see how these two teams fare. I believe, I'd have to double check, and this is on me for not creating a standings Excel yet. I do believe that We Can't Loop won at least one of their matches prior. I'd have to, like I said, double check, but either way, should be a good match indeed. I do believe that DOSH, on the other hand, has lost both their matches back-to-back, so they are 0-2. So in order to stay in the running for the best team in the Sunday division, DOSH is going to have to step up their game this match and try and close out with a win. So be very interested to see what these survivors and killers bring to the table.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what DOSH will pull out, see if they can actually get a win in.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they fought hard their last match against Ford White's One Locker. Is a very, very close match. At the end of the day, what killed them in the end was that that slug out with the twins.
Yeah, I remember watching that. I was really surprised. I'm really hoping to see some more great gameplay from them, and hopefully, I really hope that they get a win. I would love to see them continue on.
No, absolutely. But with that being said, looks like we just about have all the survivors in the lobby. Just want to confirm real quick of our ref, Vile Vega. How do builds look? Are they good on killer and survivor side alike?
As of right now, Dead on Second Hook is locked in and ready.
Awesome. In that case, I will let them know that we are ready. And just as a reminder, could you check for me what the map is today? It should be map 1. I believe it's Cold Tower, but I'm not sure.
It is... Sorry, one second.
No worries. But with that being said, looks like they are putting on all their builds right now. Also changes up some cosmetics. Need to look good when you get put on the hook, after all.
Very fashionable.
Indeed. I am a little bit surprised that I actually haven't seen more survivors try more blendy builds. No one has a locked-in character. As we do see Blendette here with the P3 clothing, so that is an example.
We did have a Blendette last time, but Blendette kind of got destroyed.
Fair. I mean,
they got very destroyed in basement.
Yeah, that is true. And I will say it is difficult to blend in a game nowadays. It's kind of different from where it used to be, where there's a lot more like dark corners and is a lot darker and not as vibrant of color. Especially on some of these newer maps, like of course Coldwind, it's nigh impossible to blend into your surroundings.
Yeah. Honestly, all you can do is stand in the corn and pray.
I mean, the corn is strong. At the end of the day, there is a reason why we call it corn blindness.
Yeah, I actually got corn blindness on Survivor. I went for a flashlight save and actually got my first corn blindness during a save and got my friend hooked.
Oh yeah, that can happen too. No doubt about that. Does the corn actually block the flashlight?
It does not. You can actually get flashlight saves through the corn. I've gotten multiple, enough to make a montage if I want. But
Jesus.
like on the downside, if you don't know the exact height of the killer, you're not gonna get there.
Fair. Like I've said before, and I really wish they would change it eventually to where the corn, was shorter than the height of a survivor's head, because that way you'd be able to see the killer's face and how tall they are, who they are in the corn, and also still be able to duck below the corn to try and dodge.
I mean, there's Michael. We always know there's a Michael. Is there a head above the court? Yep, that's Mike's.
Yeah, I mean, that's true, and Nemesis will also be very much like that. Nemesis, Michael, and Plague. Nemesis is going to be... I'm not sure. I forget. I feel like I played Nemesis on one of the Corn maps, and I think I may have been able to see down through it, based on how tall
Nemesis
he
is the tallest killer in the game now.
Yep, he is.
Taller than Plague.
Which is kind of insane. I really... You know, everyone's thinking like, oh, if they bring in Mr. X or Nemesis, they're going to have to size him down. And they just went, no, we're not. We'll be fine.
We're not gonna size.
I'm like, okay, wow, that's impressive right there.
Very impressive.
But looks like we should be rating up here. And Vile Vega, just want to confirm one more time. Is it Coldwind today?
I'm checking.
No worries.
Look, sorry.
All good, all good. So it is in announcements and info, and in the schedule, top one up there, and it does look like we are starting off with Cold Tower, followed by Father Campbell's Chapel. Should be a good one indeed. And if you could DM Techno for me, Vile, and just confirm that they have changed the map to Cold Tower. Don't want to get a reset by accident here. But overall, very, very, very excited for this match, and very curious to see what Techno brings out of their bag of tricks. Techno's a pretty versatile killer like myself, and because of that, you know, you never really know, you know, what they're going to end up bringing, which is always a lovely time for me, and why I kind of personally love not having a main. That way you can always just kind of bring out whoever you need in the instance. Like my match on Samueltex versus How Did We Get Here, I brought out an all-seen Wraith, which did quite well.
I hate that.
I mean, it's on a Corn map, so it made a ton of sense. I can just get so much aura read, and I don't have to worry about Corn blindness.
I hate all seeing Wraiths.
I mean, there's a good reason why it is one of the more powerful add-ons on certain maps. Overall, not the best. Personally, I still always stay by the fact that Double Swift Hunt now is probably the best on Wraith. But realistically speaking, that all seen on like any indoor map, any Corn map,
Yeah,
even Dead Dog, really good.
It's really good in the game.
Yep.
Very annoying.
We are ready to start the match.
Awesome. In that case, we are ready. Did we confirm with Techno that they have switched the map?
Yep.
Perfect. Ready. Alright, well that being said, let's switch on over and go through the roster here. We have IsoKaz, Snoop, Konoben, Who, and then Techno on Killer. You know, many names that we've seen before in the last two rounds for Dead on Second Hook. And looks like we are just about to jump into the match. So, we are only, what, 2 days now from the release of the DLC? Is that correct?
It comes out Tuesday. I'm very excited.
I really am. I'm curious to see, with the patch notes, what they might have changed on Nemesis. That's the biggest thing. You know, a lot of people gave a lot of feedback in the PTB. Of course, as we know, most of the time changes don't happen on release, but instead on the mid-chapter update. But there's that still possibility of a slight change here and there. Especially with the AI on zombies, as they had a tendency to face camp hooks, which was kind of awkward at times, not gonna lie.
I watched a video, it wasn't a person getting face camped, but they had two zombies on them. They threw it on a pallet, stunned a zombie, fell off the pallet and got down by another zombie, and actually got their head, like the zombie shook its head at them on the ground.
That's awesome. I love that. I mean, at the end of the day, I got some really interesting moments during the PTP where I ended up getting an insta-down on someone vaulting because a zombie would be in a loop, and I would just pressure them into that area. It almost felt like Trapper in a way, because you're like, okay, I know that I have this trap set up here, let's get them towards the zombie, and they either take the hit from the zombie, or they end up taking it from me. One way or another, it's kind of a lose-lose situation when you can get them into those tight loops.
Yeah, I actually bled out one match. A killer in like the PTB actually like let me lay on the ground because he thought it was so BS how fast I went down, but no one got me, so I just died. He had me in the RPD in like a really narrow hallway. He hit, like, I got body blocked by a zombie, got hit by the zombie, couldn't go through him because there was no like speed through collision, and then he just punched me, and him and his zombie are just looking at me on the ground, and he just walks away.
Yeah, I have seen, like, especially RPD, those really tight hallways where there's not much way to kind of get around. Those zombies can really box you in if you're not careful.
Yeah. A lot of screaming happens in PTV. A lot of screaming.
Now, what I'm still interested in is I'm really interested to see the change in the meta and see if Repressed Alliance and Blast Mine become, meta for anti-pop builds for survivors. Of course, unfortunately, in Champions of the Fog, we have a strict ban for this season on Nemesis and the new perks and characters, just to avoid any bugs that might come along with them upon release. But very interested to see how that's going to be integrated into Season 1 once this season's over.
Yeah, definitely.
But
I'm very intrigued.
are about to jump into this match. So, quite excited to see what killer is being brought today on Cold Tower. Cold Tower being one of the smallest maps. If you're not accounting Midwich is a 66 square tile map, but does have those 2 floors. If you are not including the verticality, then Cold Tower, on the other hand, is the smallest of them all. And is really good for some, very hypermobile killers. Thinking of Legion, of course, with that 130 speed. Twins isn't bad in theory. The only downside of it is the totem spawns are god-awful.
Yeah, they really are.
So, it's going to be interesting to see what builds. That also reminds me of Eruption, which is also another big build, or big perk going to be entering the fray with the new DLC. Let's take a look, and right away, I don't even need to switch over. We see those jigsaw boxes, and it is a pig. Now, this is exciting. So let's take a look here. We have Pop, no Ruin. Once again, as I did mention, those totems are kind of horrible to play around. And we do see Tinkerer as well as Save the Best for last. So this is a quite exciting play here, and kind of an unusual one as well, I will say, as we don't see Pig on some of these smaller maps, just due to the sheer fact of how close together the jigsaw boxes tend to be. So this is going to be interesting to see if the boxes are really going to help him out and slow down the match. Of course, he does have the Jigsaw Sketch, which does increase the number of boxes. So now survivors only have a 1 out of 5 chance of getting to the right one in time.
They're really going to want to pressure those boxes, especially, I believe that's tampered timers, so it's 5 boxes.
Yep.
They get
5 boxes and 2 minutes.
That's pretty good.
I will say here that they are struggling a little bit to get a survivor down early. I mean, ideally, in any competitive match, you're always wanting to see one survivor down in the first 2 minutes, and to see a Tinkerer go off not too soon after is a really tough position to be in. Especially where Ruin's not in play. I honestly really like Ruin on Pig for the reason that they're able to, pressure the gens and get them off it and let it regress in the meanwhile. We do see one gen pop off too, which is just not a good position for Pig to be in. You really want to have that jigsaw trap on them ASAP.
Yeah, this Pig, they're offense is very restaurant. I'm really surprised I haven't seen them use a crouch at all for their dash.
So, realistically speaking, there are some unique scenarios where you want to use that, mainly kind of like Wraith in a way, where you can crouch and take control of Pallet and kind of swing around that way. But other than that, you kind of want to not use crouch as much, because most smart survivors will be able to simply recognize, oh, you've crouched, I see the terrorist going away, let me just leave this tile, and you're not going to be able to catch up to me fast enough because you have to uncrouch for that additional speed. But we do see that first application of the bear trap, and I imagine they're going to be popping that gen right behind them, as it had some pretty good work. Now, I will say, I think they made a little bit of a mistake there. They did see that survivor. I think, honestly, the best play there would have been take a quick swipe, get them hit, let them momentum out, and take the pop instead.
Yeah, definitely.
So, what are your predictions based on what we're seeing right now? Survivors have already applied some really good pressure at the start. Looks like Pig might be trying to zone out this hook. What do you think the end result's going to be of this match thus far?
I feel as if the end result is probably going to be survivors taking the win, just based on what we're seeing now. But if they can get another down or two, get some pressure on the games, they might be able to turn it around.
I mean, it's definitely not outside the real possibility.
It is right now 1 hook, 1 gen.
Yeah, so...
But Tinker just went off, so it's like
Yep.
2 gens.
Yeah, I mean, realistically speaking, they're not bad as far as what I refer to as ratio. There's the 1 gen to 1 hook ratio, and then there's the 2 to 1 ratio, which is the ideal scenario. But to have 2 Tinkers go off in this chase here, it's going to be a rough situation. If I was the pig in this scenario, knowing that 3 survivors were injured with 2 gens going off, I honestly would pressure the gen first and leave this survivor for later.
But it does look like they got a game on. Survivor. There's another Tinker though, so that's probably Gen Pop. It's 2 active traps though.
That is true, and let's actually take a look at Meg and see how much time they have left. Honestly, not a lot of time has passed. That's only roughly 30 seconds. They still have a full minute and 30 to search these boxes meanwhile. Though it does look like Pig is opting to chase them and try and slow down the game in that regard.
Yeah, pressure it as much as you can.
Exactly, and meanwhile we do see Kate here using Deliverance and now going for the trap removal in the meanwhile.
Oh, actually, I think this Pig's making positions right now. I think I saw 3 of them with Shaq, and then Kate's also doing a game, so right now it looks like no one's really doing it.
Yeah, no one's on gens right now. We saw Claudette injured, we saw Meg there, we saw Nia was on the gen where the Pig just pushed them off. And so it looks like the only ones who should be on gens as of this moment is going to be Claude and Nia if they jump back on that gen. So I wouldn't be surprised if we switched over and saw 2 people on it as this Pig is going to get another hook.
I really think that Meg is probably going to get their head snapped.
Honestly, it's starting to look that way with how much time. Keep in mind that as Pig chases you, you end up actually pausing the timer. So I think we only saw them get to like 45 seconds, if not maybe a minute at most, where we do see Kate as well currently in that same vicinity.
Oh, was that Repressed Alliance?
That was Repressed Alliance. Really good use of that there since we do see Pop. I will note though, of course, that down on Nia was really, really vital for this Pig here.
Very, very good down. But yeah, even though, despite it pausing for Meg, I don't know how many games Meg had.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
Meg could still have a handful left. And it looks like they're back on Kate pressuring Kate. No one's going to be able to get the slug in the shack either, and I don't know if Meg has Unbreakable.
Yeah, it's going to be rough, and we already see Meg here at 1 full minute pass, so they have 1 minute to get to however many boxes are left. They are in a very dangerous spot and are at risk of getting morried. I will note, though, that there's not many points going to be gotten from this. This will only get them another hook state for all intent and purpose. So, not many points got in the long run, but a lot of good gen pressure through the passive ability of getting them off the gens with, you know, them potentially dying. And, oh, wow.
Meg has 1 game left. Unless the Pig pressures her on this game, she's probably going to get it off.
Not to mention that, but if we look around, we have 2 people currently slugged out, 1 person on hook.
Yeah,
Meg has to make a decision.
That can help them. Meg has to make a decision. Save herself or save her team.
Yep. Pig's not paid attention. Oh, there's Peg.
She doesn't have time to this game. She doesn't have time to do herself.
There's the game. Holy hell.
Is there any Unbreakables?
There is one Unbreakable, but did they already use it?
No, they haven't. I don't think so. Who's been slugged for a while?
Yeah, I'm wondering if maybe they're trying to hold out and wait to see what happens. There they go. Yep, that's exactly what they're doing. Now that will...
They're gonna go for the slug and let the person on hook die.
Yeah, that might be the play here, which is a rough decision to make because Pig was right there for that Unbreakable, so they went immediately into chase.
And they don't have no exhaustion break.
Yeah. I mean, that was their best attempt to try and save themselves, but unfortunately it was not enough in the end.
They may still have Kobe attempts.
True, they could still have Kobe attempts, but you do see 2 people who have not been hooked yet. One of them, though, does have a trap on hand, so I'm not sure if it's really worth it in the long run.
Yeah.
It might just be over at this point. We see the Kobe attempts from Snoop here. That's 1, 2, and 3. That gets them on second stage.
Even if they had a trap on their head, if they're the last survivor, you can still escape their hatch.
That is correct. So hatch is their main play, and I don't know if Pig knows where she is. Oh, Pig's nearby, but did not find them right away. I mean, it might be smart of Pig to go for hatch first. Let's see. Pig's looking in basement.
Their best bet is for who to kill themselves and let Snoop try to find hatch, because if not, Snoop's gonna bleed out before he dies.
Correct. Well, no, so who's the one on the ground? Snoop is the one. Snoop needs to die.
Wait,
oh my god.
Snoop needs to die. Snoop needs to die.
No way. Could this be an escape for some additional points? It's looking like it. And they need to stay right there. Pig's on their way, though. We see them in the distance, but they're going the wrong way, and that is going to be escape for DOSH. Wow.
I am not gonna lie, the reason I got thrown off, who was the blend at last time?
Gotcha.
So that really threw me off seeing who not playing blend last time.
That makes a lot of sense, but wow, that is an ending right there, and a shocker at that. Honestly, I think Techno may have gotten a little bit greedy and maybe should have slugged out that last survivor before hooking, because they already knew Unbreakable was out. That way, with one gen left, Hatch would have spawned, they could have searched around for that, taken their time, and then hooked thereafter to ensure they didn't get the escape. So that was a surprising end, to say the least.
Still, 3K, one escape through Hatch. Really disappointed I didn't see any use of that party starter.
Yeah, I mean, it was a close one. I think they tried to use the party starter, but didn't work out too well. But with that being said, Vega, what was the result of that match?
Result of the match was 17 for dead on, 17 for dead on second hook and 38 for we can't loop.
So, not a bad match there for the killer, to say the least, but dead on second hook, making up some of those points with that one escape. I mean, at the end of the day, some points are better than none, and they did do a lot of good gen pressure, but it all fell apart towards the end there, whereas just very suddenly, you know, the pig getting obscene amount of pressure. So, very, very interesting indeed.
They got too greedy, because usually, I can even admit this when I'm playing. If I'm doing really, really good against the killer, sometimes my friends underestimate the killer, and that's how we.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. That is a big factor indeed. And I think that's what we saw here, where they felt like, okay, we're in a good spot, we're pressuring gens, and then all of a sudden with the slug on, I think it was Meg or Kate, and then the down on Nia and Shaq, you know, it just snowballed out of control, and then Meg had to make the choice of, do we die or do we not? And that's what it kind of came down to. But looks like I'm going to need to reset lobby real quick. Allow the killer to get back on in, unless it is Big Dog playing next. If Vega, you could let me know who the killer is, that'd be much appreciated. But very, very close match, to say the least.
Indeed.
Our next killer is Hidden Overlord on the dead on second hook team.
Perfect. I appreciate it. I will join them now and get everyone on We Can't Loop into that match.
They should have probably. They were doing a lot of teaming up on gens. They probably should have done some split pressure when there was one gen.
On one hand, I agree. On the other hand, if you recognize Tinker is in play specifically, you kind of want to double up on gens once it's 70%, because that can mean that you take the amount of time that the killer has to react from 16 seconds to 8 seconds. And so most times the best play to counter Tinker is to double up once it reaches that point. Before then, though, there's, I guess, one of two ways to play around Tinker. You either pop 3 gens Tinker, where they have to make a choice, which gen do I go to? Or you double up and try and just remove the value of Tinker as a whole.
Yeah. I feel like with that last gen, they should have had someone double up on a gen, have someone else do a single gen. That way the killer can't pressure both of their gens.
Correct, correct.
Because everything crumbled at Shaq.
Yeah, no, that is exactly where everything kind of went downhill. And at the end of the day, as surprising as it was, the bear trap also played a huge part with Meg being taken off of gens and subsequently, you know, having to make a decision, do I die or do I get someone up? And it's just a lose-lose situation overall. But with that being said, looks like we are going to be getting everyone onto this match momentarily. Did invite Techno, who's to be the survivor of the day, along with Hidden Overlord, the killer. Alright, there we go. Watatuya is joining, Chicken Pickle, and Ward on the We Can't Loop team.
What's that name? Chicken Pickle? A Dweet!
Huh?
A Dweet.
Oh yes, Mr. Dwight. Mr. Dweety boy. So, I just realized that today, I was actually wondering why everyone was rank 5 all of a sudden, and it makes a bit more sense. Today was rank reset, wasn't it?
Yeah.
If I am not mistaken. So looks like that's why everyone's rank 5. So everyone red ranks now rank 5, and everyone else went down even further. Looks like rank reset actually worked this time, so that's good news.
Yeah.
No
That
rank
means
roulette.
One of my accounts is now in green because one of my accounts got rank rouletted, and then I didn't play on it, so it's probably green. That means my rank 1 account's now 5.
That would be correct. Red rank drops down to purple, purple down to green, green down to yellow, and yellow to brown.
I did hear some people saying that they still got rank rouletted though on the
Really? Interesting. Yeah, I haven't seen it thus far personally, but I wouldn't doubt it. Wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
Alrighty though. Just want to confirm real quick with Val Vega, are we good on killer and survivor builds alike?
I'm waiting on one more survivor build, and we are ready.
Thank you, thank
Alright,
you.
I just got it now. I'm checking.
Perfect. I know when it is checked and ready, and I'll give them the go-ahead. Or rather, I guess you'll have to, where it looks like We Can't Loop is primarily a console team. And I know that a lot of people do discredit console players, but as we saw that last match, console can still play a mean game nonetheless.
Anyone can play anything if they try.
No, absolutely. The biggest thing is in the Dead by Daylight community, especially comp at times, you'll see people who say, oh, you know, console is worse than PC, and there are some advantages to be on PC, there's no doubt about that, but for the most part, it is 1 for 1.
Actually,
Alright,
my
we are
journey
good to start.
We had a PC,
Let's
PC players
please
playing on
drivers go.
controllers.
Just repeat that one more time, Fire Jumps?
We are.
The journey I was on, we had PC players playing on controllers.
Gotcha. Interesting. I mean, I guess that makes sense in some cases, especially Survivor, I'd say, more than it would make sense on Killer, personally at least.
Yeah.
Alright, alright. Well, just waiting for them to ready up, and if we could just confirm to make sure that they have changed the map over to Cold Tower, that would also be an important factor. Just remind Hidden Overlord, so we don't accidentally get a restart.
Yeah.
So, we saw a really strong match there from Pig. Gave up a lot of pressure in the early game, but made it up in the late game. You know, with that being said, what killer are you looking forward to here from Hidden Overlord?
We have news from We Can't Loop. They are swapping something in the build.
Gotcha.
Okay, what map it was on again?
This is going to be Cold Tower. This is the second match on Cold Tower, and then we're going to be switching over to Father Campbell's Chapel thereafter.
Was it Cold Tower? Cold Tower is kind of a hard map when you're thinking about killers.
I mean, it's nice in the fact that it's really small, and so that's the, like, Legions, Plagues, are really good on it.
Really good Ghost Face.
I can see Ghostface in a way.
We have the map set to Cold Tower, and the build is confirmed.
Awesome, awesome. Just let the Spires know they are good to ready up.
Alright.
I think a Ghost Face or a Huntress would be pretty cool.
I could see a Huntress. Huntress wouldn't be a bad play here in the slightest. You know, decently open-ish areas. The only downside is once you get into that middle of all those trees, it kind of gets a bit dicey on some of those shots. But for the most part, I can see it.
It can also work for Billy's. I've had Billy's 4K on that map.
Yeah, Billy is nice on this map because you don't really need to move around too much. You can kind of focus in on those insta-downs. The only downside I will always say about the McMillan maps is those trees. The tree branches don't seem very difficult to get around, but the hitbox on those is a lot larger than you expect, and you end up running into them way too often.
Yeah. I've realized that Bubba's run into them less often than Billy's, which is really weird.
Yeah, I feel like Billy, for some reason, has like a higher hitbox when he's chainsawing, where Bubba has kind of like a wider hitbox at times. It's, I don't know if that's intentional or accidental by the developers.
Yeah. I feel... So, like, I don't really know what to expect, because there's a handful of killers that could really work.
Yeah, personally for me, I kind of look at this map and understand that since it's a legacy map, there are still a lot of tight tiles, where it kind of goes from like an LT wall to a pallet tile to another pallet, and you kind of can chain and chain and chain. But eventually you'll get rid of all of those pallets eventually. So for me, I personally really like bringing in somewhat of an insta-shred ability, like a Bubba, like a Billy, like a Demogorgon, where you can kind of remove those resources early in the match, give up gens early, and then pressure the mid and late game to where you can start really getting downs freely, since those chases become a lot shorter. That'd be my main thought there.
I'm excited to see what we're gonna see for Killer.
Absolutely. And also interested to see the Survivor builds as well. We actually saw some really good usage of Repressed Alliance last match, so interested to see if we'll see that from We Can't Loop as well. I do imagine, the usual, Deliverance build, maybe a heal build, maybe a Detective's Hunch build in case they bring totems, because for the most part, you see most killers bring totems at this point.
I really want to see a running build. I have yet to see, like, Sponjo's Lance.
True. I mean, it's not a bad build. The only downside is you don't get value unless you're in chase, and most times you kind of don't want to be, right?
Yeah.
So it is a interesting situation where you have to kind of debate here and there.
But I did feel if someone runs it, a killer probably wouldn't expect it when someone's injured because no one's running it.
You're not wrong. And interesting. Looks like DOSH responds.
Are they giving them a taste of their own medicine?
Yeah, it looks that way. Now, they have changed up the build a little. No, it's not. It's actually a little bit different.
Wait, yeah.
Instead of... I forget what the other perk was. They brought... I'll see. Save the best for last. Pop and Corrupt are the same. But instead of whatever the fourth perk was on Techno's Pig, we do see Ruin here, which is a dangerous play, as we do see Ruin in a high-traffic area in that middle building. Oh, yeah, Tinker, thank you. Thank you, that is Tinker. I was like, I was trying to scratch my brain, like, what was it?
I was trying to think of it too, that's why I got quiet.
But, I mean, we're seeing some good use of Ruin right now. Ruin's really great in the early game as you're able to kind of pressure these gens, especially if Corrupt Intervention's still up and running, and try and get a early down with very little gen progress. So, it's going to be interesting to see how they utilize this. Unfortunately, as we do take note of Dwight jumping into that middle building, I wonder if he saw Ruin. Based on him running out of it pretty quickly, I'm gonna say probably not.
Probably? Yeah, no. Actually, wait, yeah, he did kind of just bolt right out.
Yeah, looks like he saw that pig drop chase and opted to instead go out and try and go to other gens. Now, there are 3 people on that one gen there. Personally, Pig for me is one of those killers that if I recognize Ruins in play, I want to go for Ruin immediately. I don't know, what are your thoughts there?
I usually would be the one that's pressuring gens, and I will have a friend get Ruin. Unless my friend has the gen that's pressured, then I'll try and find it.
I mean, that does make a lot of sense, and as we are talking about this, looks like the survivors got the memo and are on top of Ruin, so Ruin is now gone, leaving Pig with just Pop, and soon to be only 2 perks in play as Corrupt Intervention is just about over, if not ending in the next few seconds.
Yeah, for sure.
So right now, this killer is in kind of a really awkward position, very similar to what we saw Techno in earlier, where, in the early game, they're not exactly getting a lot of pressure with hooks, and instead are just trying to get these chases going.
Yeah, poor boy didn't look behind him. Probably could have avoided that hit.
Yeah, it was a tough situation. Once you're into that LT wall, you can kind of get turned around real quick if the killer's trying to hide the red light, which Hidden Overlord did pretty well there.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think he may have made a mistake there.
Dead hard?
Yeah.
I felt that.
Dead hard was a saving grace, otherwise you really wanted to drop that pallet. And, ooh.
He really just slammed right into that metal.
Yeah. I wonder if that bear trap got on time for that gen pop.
I don't know. It didn't seem like it, maybe.
Oh, well, okay. At the very least, it definitely got that one.
Yeah, that one's up.
Yeah, there's no way avoiding that one, so it does look like the first bear trap is activated. And I don't think that's the right move to pop that gen. I think they should have probably patrolled a little bit more and see if there was one that was activated or had more progression going for it. I'll be honest. Because we can hear the gen right behind him on hill near this hook, and maybe Hidden Overlord is taking the stance of to camp out this hook to second stage. I mean, he did see those scratch marks going too, but they obviously did not commit. And we do see Jake dropping down and opting not to go for the save.
Yeah, Adam's not gonna get that. No. Oh. Yui.
Yeah, this is going to be an awkward situation. All the pick needs to do is just wait it out and do exactly that.
And now Adam's gonna go find the hook, and
which,
really do anything, right?
I mean,
the gate open.
So is that the right move? That's a really interesting question, because you either take the hit and get the save, or you don't take the hit and it results in Ward going on to second stage. That's a really
like
awkward.
It was the right move. You did a 1-for-1 there, and now Dwight's on second, and he's away and getting his game off. And they have another gen popped, and they didn't pressure Adam. They're gonna push this poor boy though.
Yeah, let's see if there's a DS in play there. You know, that would be Ward's saving grace, and it does appear that is the case.
Run, Dwight, run! Okay, Pig's gonna leave them, go back to pressure hook, I'm assuming?
Yep. Yeah, that was a pretty unfortunate situation. They really tried to force that hit to avoid the grab and just could not make it happen.
It still seemed like it's working now. It was 1-for-1. They got a gen out of it, and they didn't get another hook out of it.
That's true. That's true. So at the very least, it did benefit them in the short term. Let's see if it does benefit them in the long term, though.
The Pig's not making any... Like, the Pig could have made a progression on Adam and probably gotten another down, but they stopped. They just can't.
Yep. I mean, right now, this looks to be the right move as they got a progression on Techno, so meaning that as soon as Techno is off, they can tunnel Techno out of the game as he's already eaten a DS from Ward, meaning that he knows that is no longer a potential factor.
But yeah, the Techno's on second hook. If anything, if I was playing here, I would tell my team that I'm being camped and let me die.
I mean, so, yeah, We Can't Loop would probably want to make that communication out there and take the time to reset, take time to do gens. And that's looked like what they were attempting to do here.
Yeah, it looked like what they were doing, and that's why Pig was like, okay, I gotta stop camping.
Yeah, because keep in mind that every single hook progression is 60 seconds. That is about 3/4 of your full generator, and that's not including if you're utilizing something like Prove Thyself, which will cut the amount of time in half just by 2 people sitting on 1 gen.
Definitely.
So, Pigs...
I am surprised they didn't go for Ace. Like,
I think what they're doing here is they want to get Techno out of the game and at least try and reduce some resources here, which is a smart play, but I think that We Can't Loop kind of noted that was the play here and made sure to heal Techno ASAP, more likely than not with a Will Make It. That being said, we do see another chase here, and looks like We Can't Loop took the time necessary to get that reset.
Does he have balance?
There may have been bounce landing. I'm kind of curious now. Looks like there was balance, but did not get the timing. And do we see this flashlight save? We do!
Spicy! Very, very spicy. I love to see a good flashlight save.
Yeah, no, that was excellently timed and really is going to be punishing Dead on second hook here, where they are in a losing situation, to say the least.
They really tried to, like, assert dominance with the build, but it's really not working out for them.
Yeah, I mean, realistically speaking, I like the attempts to kind of move people into second stage. It makes a lot of sense to try and get people out of the game early. But since you're bleeding gen pressure here, I think that you've kind of given up a lot of that pressure that you had prior.
I will also say from a turning point of view, them trying to pressure their own, like, that team's own build and killer style on them probably wouldn't work. Because when I was in training, our killer ran a build and a add-on item, like, that they ran in customs against us, so we could trade against it. So maybe this team's on the same thing, where their build from their team isn't going to be effective when the killer uses it on them.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, you know, with Techno having knowledge on how to play Pig. You know, I imagine that Techno is going to be the shot caller more or less here, where they're able to say, hey, don't do this instead. And, you know, you can see very clearly that these survivors know how to avoid Pig to the best of their ability. We saw all bear traps off. At this point, those last 2 Jigsaw's baptisms are completely and utterly useless. And all the Pig can do at this point is try and stop the bleeding and try and get a few extra points here with another down. Potentially a hook, but let's see if Dwight's out and about for this flashlight save. Close by, but they're not trying to line up for it.
I never am one for that.
Yeah, we see both exit gates open now. We see everyone out and about. I mean, smart play for here would be Dwight getting a quick heal and exit gate. And then they could potentially try and get the save, but personally, I might just opt to, you know, dip out, get that 3-man out, and call it a day, honestly.
Yeah, because I'm assuming Pig's probably going to be camping.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Let's take a look, in fact, and yeah, it looks like that's exactly what they plan
I
to
would
do.
tell my team, just leave. Like, it's not like a real match. You're not gonna like lose anything from dying. Just tell your team get out, get points.
Yeah, exactly. At this point, you kind of have to take in consideration that it's not just about you getting more points, but it's making sure the other team doesn't get any others. And so I think the right move here would for them to just leave, but we see the exact opposite, in fact. The whole team is here.
They're doing a little shimmy. I like this dance. I wonder what Adam's,
I mean, Yui can grab right now without any punishment, and the pig missed and ended up hitting the person on the hook because of the animation. So I think this might result in a 4-man out. Yeah, Ace is at the front of the pack right now. Pig's not going to be able to make it in time. Yui's going to get momentum out. Yeah, this results in a 4-man out. I mean, that was a daring play by Weekend Loop.
Though. The Adam was just bait. Adam didn't have borrowed. Adam was bait, so the person with borrowed could get him.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That was a really, really smart play. And they did that beautifully because with the position where Adam was, it blocked the grab. Since they were trying to specifically hit Yui or to grab them, ended up with them hitting the person on the hook. They re-hit the person off the hook, giving them the momentum of BT. It just was a beautiful execution of a save right there.
And props to Ace for not trying to Kobe, because it stopped the progression. And it also stopped the chance of them Kobe and getting hooked again. And it gave their team more time to play.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I can really see a lot of promise here, though, from Hidden Overlord. Do want to give credit where credit's due. They had a lot of good plays. At the same time, you know, obviously, Dead on Second Hook is a newer comp team, and so they're still learning a few different strategies here and there. Did see some good implementation of trying to get those progression hooks and forcing the grab over just them taking a trade hit instead.
I really, really think that they would have done better if they didn't try to use the other team's almost exact replica of what they ran against them. Because, like I said earlier, usually, if you're running a build, you've trained against that build.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. But with that being said, real quick, just want to check with Vile Vega. What is the point totals for the end of that match?
The end of that match results in We Can't Loop, resulting in a full 50 points, and Dead on Second Hook with a point score of 15.
Awesome. And so is that the full totals of the finals where you can find at the bottom of the Excel, or?
The finals currently are Dead on Second Hook has 32, with We Can't Loop at 88.
All right, so I mean, still not a unrecoverable match here. If Dead on Second Hook were to get a perfect killer game, that would tie it up and then put the last match into We Can't Loop's court at the end of the day, as they'll be playing killer last on Father Campbell's Chapel.
Indeed.
So, going to be very interesting here to see what happens. Now, I'm not sure if Hidden Overlord is going to be killing again. We should be able to confirm that momentarily, as well as see if the survivors are going to use their same exact builds. Honestly, just make sure that they do send screenshots once again, as you just want to confirm that nothing has changed to avoid any potential resets.
Yep.
But, so what are your thoughts there, Fire Gems, on that last match?
I'm honestly not surprised with the outcome due to what I've said before. Just because, like, when I was an attorney, we practiced a lot against a nurse. We practiced a lot against, like, when we were doing attorney, we practiced against nurse, spirit, and hag, because those are really popular killers in attorneys, as well as occasional, like, legion. We did, like, actual practicing in mirror matches as well. So, honestly, like... I'm gonna be honest, running their own build against them was a terrible idea.
No, I can definitely see that argument, and, you know, it is very safe to say that if an instance that you're using the same exact killer, very similar build to what the last team played, that they're probably very familiar with it. At the same time, you know, that may have been the only killer that they had available, that they felt really comfortable on that map specifically, or they're just trying to say, okay, well, we can do this too. It's a hard thing to, you know, say one way or another, I suppose.
Yeah.
But with that being said, does look like we are changing killers. Looks like Hexed is next. I just accepted their friend request and looking to see if they will be inviting me momentarily. Well, next match is going to be held on Father Campbell's Chapel. And from there, we'll see if this last match is the swan song for Dead on Second Hook, or will it be their valiant recovery and leading into our fourth match?
I'm intrigued as to like what killer is gonna go in. Because Campbell is like always one where I'm always iffy on killer.
It's hard to say. It's very rectangular. It's a medium-sized map. It's not too big. It's not like a medium-large. But the hard part is because it's rectangular, it's a lot longer than it is wide. And that ends up in a scenario to where if you're trying to get to the other 3 gen across the map, that can take quite a lot of time. So there's the possibility of a hypermobile killer, maybe a clown to try and use the invigoration balls to get from one side to the other, maybe a legion for that 130 speed through Fatal Frenzy, or potentially, if they feel confident, potentially a blight as well.
Possibly Wraith as well.
That's true. Wraith is, now a 150 speed killer, and it would not be outside the realm of possibility. Do I feel like Wraith is the right move on that map? It's debatable.
Though they could also run a stealth killer like Ghostface or Michael. It probably wouldn't be the best, but they could do it.
Yeah, I mean, Ghostface I could see. Ghostface, personally, is still a really good stealth-based killer. Of course, he's not going to be able to mark many people just because it is comp. But the stealth effect that he has is really good, especially on mind games, as you can remove your red light mid-chase, and the survivor really has to play a 50-50 guessing game, almost like a pseudo-spirit in a strange way. I know that sounds strange, but it kind of works out, and that's something that I have implemented in my own gameplay. But if we could just give Hex a quick ping and let them know to invite me when they have a chance, be much appreciated. But overall, I would be shocked to see a Michael Myers in any of this gameplay, to be honest. The just main problem with Michael is that early game, trying to get out of Tier 1 to Tier 2. I mean, once he's out of Tier 1, he's actually pretty powerful with a 16-meter tear radius, and in addition to that, the ability to 99 your Tier 3 and pop it at the right moment.
I will say, if you play Michael, almost, like, something that's really good, Dead Rabbit Monitor.
Yeah, I mean, that at Tier 2 does put you down to a 0-meter tear radius, which can be quite terrifying and might potentially get you some good grabs.
I'm also Dead Monitor Tinkerer with Dead Rabbit Monitor Tinkerer. Pretty good.
No, fair play, fair play. Yeah, I mean, personally, my build will always be Corrupt Intervention, Ruin Pop, and Bamboozle. Now, Bamboozle seems a little bit odd on Michael, but it makes a lot of sense because Michael, overall, actually vaults faster than every other survivor. And as you start to tier up, it actually increases the speed even more so. So at Bamboozle Tier 3, A, you lock them out that window, but B, you vault super fast. It's like fire up on 4 stacks.
Very fun builds. Infinite Tier 3, Bamboozle, fire up. Crowd control. Very fun.
I imagine those survivors would beg to differ on the very fun part of it all.
With your food, and then if you get bloodlust, you can actually even without bloodlust, you can never run any survivor. And then you get bloodlust, and they can't even attempt to do anything.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, honestly, Michael Myers is a very hit-or-miss killer, so I'm very interested if we end up seeing him at all. Keep in mind that, of course, Tombstone is banned for good reason, to say the least.
Is Scratch Mirror banned?
Scratch Mirror, that's a good question. I don't think it is. I think Michael Myers has availability for purple and below, so most times if we were to see Michael, I would really imagine a double charge add-on for, insta Tier 3 Myers.
I feel like if I was losing, I would do a troll match. I would do Boyfriend's Memo, Scratch Mirror, Undying, Devour Hope, Play with Your Food.
I mean, I will say, I used to run a glass cannon build on Myers where I wasn't really sure what to run on him. It used to be Devour Hope, Haunted Ground, Undying, Corrupt. And it surprisingly was pretty effective due to the fact that 16 meters, while Haunted Ground is open, it can be quite painful, to say the least.
Yeah, my biggest meme is just Dying Light, Undying, Devour. It's freaking great. With Play with Your Food on top.
Yep. I mean, if you're doing Scratch Mirror, you kind of need that Play with Your Food, not gonna lie.
It's great.
Absolutely, but just want to check real quick with Vega, see if the Survivor and Killer builds are good to go.
Killer's ready, we're waiting for one more Survivor, and we can begin.
Awesome, just let the Survivors know that they are good to ready up, and I'll let the Killer know, should be good to go.
Yeah, just waiting for this last build here.
Gotcha. Well,
Man, those two Michael builds are all I really run. whenever I'm playing Michael for fun.
Fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, once in a while,
And
if I'm using add-ons, I'll throw in like a tombstone or something just for the hell of it.
I checked the rules. The shape can use green add-ons and blue.
Thank you. So looks like no purple. I'm wondering. I have to double check. You know, I know there's
Is it
tombstone.
just tombstone piece?
So tombstone piece is purple, which is banned outright.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think of maybe it was just because I looked at the other purple ones.
There
Oh,
was
I know why.
tombstone piece, vanity mirror, and scratch mirror.
Yeah, Vanity Mirror, Scratch Mirror, but there's a third one. There's the tuft of hair, I believe, which also
Tuft
is
of hair is pink.
there's that one. Isn't there another
No, Tuft of hair is purple and it increases tier 3.
Correct.
But there's another one where it's infinite tier 3 and that one's pink.
Correct. Yeah, so there's the eerie one, there's the purple one though. Now the reason why I think I banned all purple was for the fact that most of those other ones are seen as, you know, relatively bad add-ons, so I didn't feel like anyone would really miss them all too much. But on top of which, the purple one surprisingly can be used well. The first tier 3 takes longer and gives you that extension. The second and all consecutive tier 3s thereafter are actually charged shorter in comparison and give you some
get, like,
pretty
half.
explosive. Yeah, exactly. It can be pretty explosive.
Yeah, if you want it to be explosive, you do that in J Memorial.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Personally, I still think that the double charge add-ons are where it's at, all things considered.
Yeah. Whenever I run Michael, J Memorial, Infinite Tier 3, J Memorial, Dead Rabbit, or Dead Rabbit and the Memorial Flowers.
Alright, and we are ready to start here.
Awesome.
Survivors now.
Thank you, thank you. Alright. Well, I am quite excited to see what Killer is brought today. Like I said, this is a make-or-break situation for Dead on Second Hook. They need to pretty much play a perfect game just to tie it up, and if they can accomplish that, then, you know, it's all on their survivors at that point in time. But we are loading on in, and we'll be seeing momentarily who will be played first on the Father Campbell's Chapel. Also, Vega, if you could do me a favor and just let chat know that I'll be toning down Streamlabs Autobot just a wee bit, as I see it's a tad bit aggressive on the caps spam.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you. So we'll fix that. Just let them know, as I know they won't be able to hear me right away. But with that being said, we'll be jumping right onto this match momentarily. I don't think there's any way to tweak the Streamlabs one all too much. I'll probably just turn it off a little bit.
I can tell you how to tweak it after.
Gotcha, thank you, I appreciate that. Normally I don't use it too much, but saw a lot of...
Streamlabs is the bot I use. I use Streamlabs and MoveBot.
Gotcha. See, I don't use MoveBot. I usually keep to AutoMod on Twitch and Streamlabs. Usually it's more than enough, but I know that chat here can be quite aggressive sometimes.
Yeah, I just use MoveBot for giveaways, seppuku, and roulette.
Gotcha. But with that being said, looks like we are loaded into our next match. And we'll be seeing who the killer is momentarily. Alright, looks like we're good on add-ons and tools. And we got a Death Slinger. Interesting.
I forgot he existed. I was so sick of playing against him.
So, I can kind of see the decision-making here on Father Campbell's Chapel due to the fact that there are some low tiles that Death Slinger can very easily work around. I do question it to some degree, as I did mention before, though it's not necessarily a big map. It feels a lot bigger because it's longer than it is wide, and results in a lot of travel time for the killer if you're going from one side of the map to the other.
I'm very excited that I see the
Yeah, I was about to say, I figured that you'd be excited for that Devour Hope down there. But that is a very early down for Death Slinger here, and it is a very, what I would refer to as glass cannon build, as we already do see 1 out of 3 of the totems out of the match. I do get a feeling that one of these survivors is running small game, and indeed they are. So, more likely not, I feel like this might be a bit of a questionable decision here.
Very questionable.
But I imagine that Deathslinger's thought process is, if I can get some early downs, especially as they're doing right now, they already have one hook and are trying to line up the second. If they can get to a quick, 3 stacks of Devour Hope and try and maybe get one more to get one Survivor out of the match, maybe it'll all be worth it in the end.
Possibly, but it's looking... I'm really hoping that the totem in that jungle gym isn't the Devourer, because that's a really bad spot.
Yeah, that's the thing about this map. There are some decent locations, don't get me wrong. There are some otherwise that are just god-awful. And that Sprint Burst coming in clutch, I mean, that was such a close hit.
He just got jebaited.
Absolutely. A little bit early on that shot. I'm not sure if Ace just got caught on geometry or was trying to figure out where to go from there. Now, there are some cheeky shots that you can get here of Deathslinger, I won't lie. And we'll see that right there.
Very spicy, very, very spicy. I would have crushed it there.
Yeah, it's hard to say, at the end of the day of Deathslinger, he needs such pinpoint accuracy to get some of those hits. And so I definitely would have probably, tried to either bait it out or crouch to try and avoid that shot for sure.
He needs a pinpoint accuracy, and then when you get tired of Deathslinger, just go play Huntress so we get some freaking bulldozers.
I mean, we saw that last time with Alex the Plug with his Huntress. That was a little bit aggressive, those bulldozer shots, to say the least.
Very, very aggressive.
But this Deathslinger doing an amazing job. We do see another totem go, and it looks like that totem in that tile was Ruin. Now, bad news for Deathslinger, these gens will get cleared out pretty quickly now, as he has no passive gen regression. Good news, though, is that he could potentially get this third stack of Devour Hope and hope for an insta-down in the meanwhile. And that might be the pressure that they need this early in the game.
So got thrown back for a second.
Yeah, he was debating right there whether or not he wanted to go for that middle gen or not. Since he did hear it going off and opted to go for the UE instead, which I think is a smarter play here, as you really need to get this down as soon as possible.
There goes UE's life. Oh, why would you like this?
I mean, I think they didn't really have too much of a choice. They didn't want to be in that tile, that, that low of a wall.
I would have ran around the wall and lifed the other way, because, like, that's where your shack is, that's where your good boops are. All it's over here is a TNL, and you can get shot.
I could see this, but that there, if they play it well, will be the third stack of Devour Hope, and that now means that very soon these survivors will know what exactly is going on. Oh, there is Jake. Now, I think this is probably the wrong move. I would not chase here.
I thought that hit.
Now, I think there's a reason why I didn't. I think that may have been a mid vault or a slow vault. Now, cool thing, a little interaction. I hate it when I'm playing Deathslinger, mind you, but cool little interaction is if you slow vault when Deathslinger shoots you, it will not connect.
I love that.
So, little trick there if you have a Deathslinger from afar and you want to avoid being hit on a vault like that. Now, unfortunately, Deathslinger is now chasing someone who's injured. If I was him right now, I would go away and chase someone who was not injured, get more value out of this Devour Hope, as I imagine it's going to get popped pretty quickly, a small game still in play.
Possibly. I think he's trying to get his stacks, though. He's really stack thirsty. He's hungry for that soup.
I mean, I can definitely understand that, in this type of scenario where it's kind of an all-or-nothing situation, he really wants to get this Mori and try and reduce resources, realizing that someone might be on that gen, and this is still someone injured. Wow, really bad luck for Deathslinger here. But now the survivors will be aware of Devour Hope in play, but I think the person with small game is Techno, which means that they'll be out and about searching around for Totem as we speak.
Techno has it. Can we get a checkup on Techno? They don't even care.
Yeah, looks like they're probably trying to finish out this gen. Makes a lot of sense, at the end of the day, the name of the game is Gens Before Friends after all. And they'll probably try and hunt that down thereafter, except they didn't even need to. Looks like someone's already on it.
Got it.
Yep, they did, so that now means that...
Nope, it's gone.
Yep, it is absolutely gone.
I was like, why is the proc still there?
Yeah, it happened literally as we changed screens. And with that being said, that means that this Deathslinger is a 0 perk Deathslinger, which is not exactly a great place to be. Now, I will note that looks like Ward here did use Deliverance. Now, this could be a bit of a mind game, but appears not to be. We do see the full Deliverance build of Deliverance, DS, Unbreakable, and Dead Hard. So that means that Deathslinger is kind of in an awkward position where no matter what, he's letting that survivor get away, whether that be with the ES or the Unbreakable. But with that being said, let's see if Deathslinger opts to pick up after all. And might just patrol out, try and wait out that Unbreakable instead.
I think so.
And looks like that is the last generator. And Deathslinger is in a really awkward position. If he's able to manage a situation to where he can get a 2-hook or 6-hook 2K, then that might result in a tie and still give Dead on Second Hook a chance to come back from this. But if all 4 survivors get out, that is pretty much the game.
This fight is harder. At first I thought the hit, and I was like, what?
Alright.
Trapped himself in Shack.
Yeah, looks like he's just trying to mind game Shack a little bit here, and does end up getting the hit.
He didn't. That's not how you hug the wall.
Yeah, it was a bit of an awkward scenario there,
I was
and looks like...
you can hug the wall, and then he was like, okay, let's just go.
Yeah.
Oh, I just left him.
No, I mean, this makes a lot of sense in my opinion based on where the score is at. You know, best not to test the waters for potentially a no-ed maybe if they haven't really counted out all the perks. But with that being said... Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well,
I just realized what he was... I'm sorry.
Oh, no, what's
I
up?
just realized what he was doing. He was taking the Deathslinger all the way across the map to Shack. It was the back corner. That's not near any doors.
That would make sense. That makes sense, you know, trying to get him as far away from the exit gate as possible.
So they probably told his team, I'm going to the corner, open the gates, get out.
Yeah, I mean, that would make a lot of sense to me, especially in the situation where they're in, where at the end of the day, like I said, the name of the game isn't just trying to get the most points possible, but it's also denying your opponent the most points possible. And where they're already on second hook, going on to death, I mean, it makes sense there. At most, Deathslinger is getting a total of 9 points off of Ward versus even more on someone else.
Definitely.
But with that being said, you know, I think that does put the nail in the coffin for Dead on Second Hook. But we'll confirm with Vile Vega here.
Alright. The current scores are, for this match, it was We Can't Loop with a score of 38 and Dead on Second Hook with a score of 25, with the overalls being Dead on Second Hook with 57 and We Can't Loop with 126.
Yep, and that means that is more than 50 points. No matter what the scenario, Dead on Second Hook cannot win this match. And so, with that being said, you know, we are going to end up with this last trial still going through, and, you know, We Can't Loop having to use a killer of their choosing. I imagine they'll probably go for, like, a trap or a trickster or the like to close it out.
Honestly, if I had already, like, I don't think they'd really know the score, but if they know the score, I would just play something.
Yeah,
Because if you can't win.
Exactly. I mean, so, well, We Can't Loop is winning. So, let me remind you, We Can't Loop is winning. So they're going to throw in probably a, you know, a E-tier killer. Yeah. They're killing next, versus Dead on Second Hook, who's going to be playing on Survivor.
Yeah, if I was playing on Survivor and I knew I was going to lose, time to Medal of Mither.
Okay, I see.
Middle man, no mither, unbreakable tenacity, let's go.
I mean, at the end of the day, though, I personally would just take this as a scrim and just take the potential experience.
I don't think I would, but I'm a big meme. If I know like I'm not playing for anything, I'm gonna just go meme.
That's fair, that's fair. But with that being said, if we could find out who is killing next on We Can't Loop, be much appreciated, Vile Vega.
That's what I'm doing as of now.
Perfect, perfect. I appreciate it. And while I have a quick moment, just since I can, you know, step away from this screen, let me just head over to Streamlabs real quick. Streamlabs seems to be on a bit of a tear right now. So,
Streamlabs inky.
Yeah, Streamlabs or Cloudbot specifically is not a happy camper today. So I'm going to...
Yeah, there's an option to turn it off where it will, like, skill at your chat.
Yeah, I'm just gonna turn it off for now. So, chat, you have free reign for right now. Try not to spam too many caps, please. That would be much appreciated. Cloudbot has...
Wait, just go to Cloudbot and go to Mod Tools and just turn off caps protection.
Yep, that's exactly what I did.
Yeah, that's all you have to do. That's all you have to do.
Try not to stir up too much commotion. All right.
Wait a second. I'm gonna step away really, really fast. My cat is trying to eat a cord.
Yeah, I'd say probably best to not have an electrified cat.
1 second.
I haven't gotten anything from either team yet.
Alright, sounds good. Yeah, once we confirm the killer, then we'll be able to go right on in, and they'll be able to choose who they want to kill. Sparrow has been banned. Oh, no. I think Sparrow's fine. I see Sparrow there. Yeah, I don't think I ever had Cloudbot have the ability to ban anyone. I think it was just a purge for the most part. Sorry, Dad, we'll do better. Yes, please, please. Like, you guys can yell a little bit, but not too much. I'll have to first take a look at Cloudbot and see why it was so aggressive. Some yelling is fine. Too much yelling, not too much. You know, you don't want to wake up the neighbors, that's all. I know some of you are in EU. Alright, alright.
Alright, it looks like our killer will be DJ Polar Bear.
Ooh, I don't think I've seen DJ Polar Bear play yet, and I think this is a smart move on their part to bring in someone who maybe hasn't gotten a lot of play. That way they can kind of test them out and get some comp experience as killer. I mean, that makes a lot of sense to me.
Oh? Okay, I'm back. That would probably be a good idea.
And we're getting builds starting to roll in. Awesome.
Well, let me add DJ Polar Bear as we speak. Looks like they are another TTV. By the way, guys, if you are a TTV participating in Champions of the Fog, make sure that you put your information into Twitch info so I can add you in the future and have you, talking or have your streams be announced by Cloudbot, or not Cloudbot, Me6 in this case. Might not be able to be announced by Cloudbot.
Cloudbot, it will scream at you to refrain from promoting.
Alright. But let's take a look-see. Let's get into their match and go from there. Where's the TTVs? There we are. There's Polar Bear. Let's join. Should be good to go.
That's a cute name.
I thought I disabled cap spam. Well, what are you on about, Cloudbot? Did I not press save? No, I definitely pressed save. I don't have anything here unless maybe is it Automod that's now doing it?
It doesn't look like it's not Cloudbot doing it.
Oh, now it's Automod doing it?
Maybe?
Let me check Automod.
Chat putting it. Because I have the stream open, I'm just seeing chat typing it.
Oh, is chat typing it?
Chat's trolling you.
Is chat trolling me now? Let me double check real quick and just make sure that we're good as far as that's concerned. Let me also...
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything from the bot in chat. Just
okay.
And tagging and adding people.
Gotcha.
It's literally just chat being trolled.
Oh, chat. I literally just got so confused. I'm like, wait a second, I just swore that I disabled it.
Alright, survivors are good. We're just waiting on the killer build.
Awesome. Well, I invited Hidden Overlord. Let me see who else might be joining. I imagine maybe Who and Big Dog. And we're just waiting on Survivor build at this point in time. I did see the map change, so we should be good in that regard.
For survivors, we have Who, Snoop, ISO, and Ben. The survivors
thank you.
on deck.
Who is brighter than my future? Jesus.
But, real quick, guys, as a quick little note, Twitch be twitchin', and apparently Twitch believes that we have streamed for 7 days now. Now, that actually is not the case. I think we've only streamed like 5 matches. With that being said, though, kind of a exciting thing is that after today, and when Twitch verifies today's stream, we should actually be affiliated, which means, really cool thing, I wasn't expecting there to be, but in Season 0, there'll be a little bit of a prize pool for whoever wins this season's league. Now, keep in mind, how the prize pool is generated is via ad revenue, as well as 40% of subscriber revenue at the end of the season. So keep that in mind. I will also think of some other ideas for you guys to add to the prize pool if you do want to donate to it, to try and support it a little bit further.
And there will be emotes.
Yes, there will be emotes eventually. I'm going to have to reach out to my emote artist, Sophie, who's actually pretty well known in the Dead by Daylight community, has done some really cool emotes for Super Alf, has done some emotes for Dead by Daylight themselves on their Discord channel, and a whole lot of other content creators, so I'll be reaching out to them. We'll take a little bit of time. They're usually pretty swamped, to say the least, but I'll be very excited to commission some more emotes. If you guys have any ideas for emotes, definitely make sure to put some suggestions in the general Discord channel. Alright, well, it looks like we're having some lobby trouble, as Dead by Daylight tends to do. So it looks like some players are going to be resetting their game right now to try and figure out what exactly is going on.
I think we did a pretty good job so far.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Alright, and we just got a verification on the killer build.
Awesome. I appreciate all you guys being pretty quick to get us your builds. It does allow us to kind of get through these matches relatively quickly, keep it on time, especially as sometimes we have back-to-back matches. So I appreciate all of you who are quick on the draw and getting us all of that information that we need to our refs. So thank you, everyone who does a very good job at that.
We upset, so we're good for when they get in.
Snoop versus DJ, who will live?
Do 1v1 cow shed? Is that what you're asking for?
1v1. Fight me at the cow tree.
Exactly. All right, and any communication from the survivors on potential lobby issues?
He said that his team is restarting their games, and they'll be right in.
Perfect, perfect. I'm happy to hear it. I know that a lot of them are on, some on PC, some on console. I know that it can take a while to load up, so no worries there. Yep, no Noed. So they don't exactly worry about that. Oh, did I say that they could potentially have Noed? I guess maybe I forgot about that.
You said they potentially have Noed before, and I got quiet because I was like, Gil?
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, that's my bad. That's my bad.
Yeah,
it is indeed banned.
I was like,
I mean, I'm just so used to be fair, I'm so used to Deathslingers having Noed. That is like was second nature of, oh, Deathslinger, Noed, makes sense.
I'm just used to Deathslinger shooting me, and then I die after I get tunneled off the hook.
I mean, that's fair too, that's fair too.
Dude, I got so sick of Deathslinger. Like, at first when I saw Deathslinger attorney, I was like... I had like, I had 12 Deathslingers in one day, and then I was like, okay, I'm done. And then I had 6 Deathslingers the next day, and I'm just like, can you not play Deathslinger?
That's surprising too, because you normally don't see that unless there's like a compendium challenge where like it involves that killer, but I don't think we've gotten any chapters for Deathslinger yet, have we?
Nope, just a lot of very sweaty Deathslingers, and it's like, can I not get shot?
But they want to shoot you. That's all.
I don't want to get shot. I want to get to use Dead Heart and Vault Windows.
Well, to be fair, you can use Dead Heart, and if you have really good timing with it too, you can actually dodge some of those spear guns.
Yeah, you can. But when that's gone, then you just cry.
True. That is true. To be fair, it usually messes up the Deathslinger pretty heavily when they dodge those shots with Dead Heart, because you have to A, reset the spear gun as well as reload, which gets you a lot of distance, to say the least.
Unless I have reload add-ons.
True. That and the tin can really shorten up that time, which, to be fair, when it happens to me, I never run add-ons because I'm always doing win streaks. But for those who use that, you know, that can be kind of painful indeed.
Man.
Alright, looks like we have everyone joining right now as we speak, but it looks like it might be a lobby issue. Yeah, so if we could just have DJ Polar Bear reset lobby.
Yep. I'll let him know.
That would be appreciated. All right. And if we could also just have someone announce the score in chat as well when you have a moment. I know you're doing a few different things. I know there's a lot of multitasking.
Do more, Vega. Do more.
I got it.
Do it all.
Put in Vega through the ringer today on the first ref session. So I appreciate you.
Do everything.
But yeah, I think the best bet here is probably reset lobby and figure out from there, as DBD just is DBD and tries to make more issues than it's worth.
Indeed.
But real quick, going back to the whole affiliate thing and prize pool, biggest thing, as I did mention, is that since a lot of the prize pool is going to be through ad rev and subscriptions, For all those who are participating, try your best to advertise, the channel here, as it will allow us to then, get more viewers. That then adds to the prize pool over time, and eventually, we can get a better prize pool for season 1, season 2, and the like.
And we were also thinking about doing charities.
Yes, I need to look into integration for charities, whether that be Extra Life or a Children's Miracle Network Hospital, or things like St. Jude. It might be a monthly thing where you change from like month to month for those who are interested in doing so.
I do want to do a Pride one.
Gotcha. It looks like Caps, I was looking into it earlier. Caps is still, yeah. Wait, is that, or is that someone adding? Am I being trolled again?
That's someone in chat. You're being trolled.
God dang it, you people. I'm always going to see that, like, you guys.
If it was doing it, I would let you know. I promise.
Yeah, exactly. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I got you.
Alright, looks like Polar Bear is ready to go. And hopefully no lobby issues now. We'll get everyone on in here ASAP. And let's see. Got Snoop. We got 2, and they'll invite the rest. Yeah, for those who aren't aware, it is a 10-minute delay. Reason why we do that is that way we can avoid using perk covers. One of the major feedbacks that I've gotten from other Dead by Daylight competitive channels is that no one liked perk covers. They liked to know what was going on, that they didn't have to play the guessing game off of what the commentators were saying. So instead of, having that perk cover, I opted for a hefty delay to try and avoid killers or survivors getting potential info from their teammates, and that way by the end of the match, it really doesn't matter. Most times survivors will figure out what perks that the killer has. The killer normally will know what exhaustion perks the survivors have, and even DS, deliverance, and the like. So, kind of a way to avoid those awkward situations.
Yeah.
But it does look like we have everyone in lobby now. We are on Father Campbell's Chapel, and the survivors just need to get their builds going. We should be good to go. DJ was the Twins player on Ormond. Gotcha. That makes a lot of sense. So, I think I may have not watched that match the first time around. I think that was Shelby and Giraffe who were both reffing and observing that. So, unfortunately, I did not get to witness them play, but I'm very interested now that you mentioned that.
It's terrible. I left the baby out in the cold.
You don't want to leave the runt out there, though I'm sure that nice and warm when the twins are together.
Probably.
Alright. But looks like everyone's just about ready, and just want to confirm if Val Vega builds are confirmed, both on killer and survivor side. Yes, no, maybe so? It looks like they're readied up anyways.
They're ready, sorry.
Alright, perfect.
I was about to be like, hey, Vega, give us a sign. Give us a sign.
Muted, sorry.
All good. Alright, though, well, let's switch screens so it's not the podcast hour. And we are jumping into Father Campbell's Chapel for this last trial of this match. Now, of course, this is pretty much a done deal. We Can't Loop has secured their win, and we're going to be seeing if We Can't Loop is bringing in maybe a Trapper, maybe a Trickster, someone low tier overall.
Bring in a Trickster and just nothing. No perks, no add-ons.
I mean, we saw Trickster yesterday for a similar throwaway match against between Envy and who was it? Why am I blinking out on the match yesterday? I think it was Z-Wall Gaming. No, Z-Wall is against Cerebral Assassins. As you can tell, there's way too many teams and too much to keep track of. That's why I have a schedule for a reason.
Yes, there's a lot of teams. I honestly forgot how many teams there were until I looking at the channels earlier, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, for those who might not know, it's pretty clean when you're just an observer of the fog or a champion of the fog. But once you become an enforcer or a producer, all of a sudden the channels just explode, and it's like, oh, I have like 20,000 channels.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so I have 24 channels, but only only people are playing right now. These are for next part, and we have another one. There's a new team now. Okay, well,
that was literally just me.
Yep. Trust me when I say it took a lot of time to get all these roles and channels in, but I think it's streamlined enough that it makes a lot of sense, and hopefully it's a enjoyable experience for those utilizing the Discord. Let me know if there's anything that I can do better. Always willing to take that feedback.
I just realized we're gonna be affiliate, so there's gonna be founders badges.
Mhm.
I think there's only 5 of those.
That is correct. So there will only be 5 founders badges.
But I'm gonna get the first one. Just message me when we're affiliate. I'll get one.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Vegas and same. Message us will be the first one.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably be setting up that tonight as soon as I get the email. Let me know that has come to pass. I'll be setting up the channel for monetization, which will be quite exciting.
But I do know after, I do want to talk to you about some things like usual.
Yeah, absolutely. But we have joined the match. All 3 survivors right here, potentially all 4. Looks like maybe Claude has spawned by herself, and does look like a Trickster after all, with the USB stick plus Trick Blades, which is a pretty common combination on Trickster here.
Is that a P3 Trickster?
That does appear to be a P3 Trickster.
I love him.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if maybe DJ Polar Bear here is a Trickster main or what, but they have brought an interesting build of Hex Crowd Control, Undying, Rancor, and Haunted Ground. Very interested to see how this works out for them.
Man, I love this.
And also, just want to give a quick shout out. Did see Techno raiding with, so thank you, Techno, for the raid. I do appreciate it for supporting Champions of the Fall again. To everyone who is watching, thank you much for all of your support. Gone above and beyond my expectations thus far, so I do appreciate it all, and very happy to have you all here.
Is this Trickster okay? I was watching him throw his knives, and he's just like throwing them. No one's even there. He's just like, I'm gonna throw some knives now.
I mean, I think he kind of saw where Meg was trying to go, maybe trying to get some of those ricochet shots. Obviously not working out all too well here. And I imagine at this point they may have realized Rancor is in play, as I'd imagine Kate has shouted out that they have seen Trickster once that gen's popped.
I'm really surprised he's not throwing ricochets at the ground either, because you can actually ricochet off the ground.
You can. Now, of course, they don't get as much of a benefit as they used to, so I can kind of understand why, you know, not necessarily always going for them and trying to get them in some cheeky spots.
I do miss his other one. Not this ricochet, but the other one that he had. Because in PTB, you could make survivors on the ground dance forcibly. Because you throw knives at them when they're on the ground and it'd make them stand up and like do a little shimmy forwards. And I would just harass survivors.
Interesting. Yeah, I think I saw a few clips of that. Never knew exactly what was happening there, but that makes a bit more sense now.
It was so funny. I had my friends actually get in line in the custom and I made them all move at once.
Let's see if Claude is still around for this flashlight save. Yep, she is. Looks like Trickster is just trying to, you know, get her out of here before trying to go for this pickup, which makes a whole lot of sense. But I get a sense that Big Dog here is not exactly going to be deterred and might come back for a cheeky flashlight save.
I really like this Trickster. He's just kind of vibing. You can tell with his playstyle, he's just kind of vibing.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, this is just a way to kind of still get a match in, you know, try out a specific killer. And Trickster, in my opinion, though could be considered B tier on some of your best maps for him. More likely than not, he's, you know, E tier on most maps just because of the 110 plus, you know, really being weak around those tall tiles.
He's just a killer that's fun to play.
Exactly.
And you can't stay upset when you play him because he just starts laughing. If you're in a bad mood, he just laughs at you like, oh, you're in a bad mood. Let me laugh at your failures.
I mean, I think he's mainly trying to laugh at the survivors, but you know, I get the idea. But looks like he's taking his time, you know, trying to pressure this unhook. This is really where Trickster is good, where he can just pressure those unsafe unhooks and try and punish survivors for making plays like this. Now, of course, you know, dead on second hook, still taking this a bit seriously. Did send the person with, you know, BT to try and make that play. And looks like Trickster will be using their main event to try and get this Kate down.
I will tell you, this is actually terrifying to go against. Getting main evented, I decided I would take a chase match for someone. And I didn't know the Trickster had ricochet knives. And all of a sudden I was getting ricocheted, and I started screaming. And I popped a BT bottle, continued to get like ricocheted, and then he main evented me. It was just chaotic screams.
Yeah, it can be quite terrifying to say the least, where, especially with ricochet blades in main event, where it's going off a mile a minute, you know, it can result in some accidental downs that you're maybe not expecting.
It's terrifying. The nothing scarier than a trickster just charging at you with ricochet main event.
Ah, very smart play there. You know, I was thinking, okay, why is he dropping there? But he recognized that Nia was still around and, you know, is trying to bait out that head-on. So, really good play. Let's see if maybe Big Dog might be around, though, with that flashlight. That could be a little bit, well, tricky, so per se.
Me too, Nia. Oh!
Yeah, adding insult to injury right there, you know, obviously getting that injure, but then Nia able to get out of that corner and also blind Trickster on top of which. Trickster being very careful here, maybe just trying to maybe camp out
Nia
for the Rancor.
Save now because Nia had a firecracker, I believe.
Yes, that is correct, but Big Dog could still be around with that flashlight instead. So he's taking his time. It's very possible that maybe he's just waiting out for this last generator so he can Rancor the Obsession.
So game's over. I'm taking you with me.
Yeah, that might honestly be the case here, where we do see this last gen about to pop. Look like, let's see, person on the ground does not
it's gonna be
have
all
adrenaline.
It's all fun in games until they go for that flashlight save and their friends just getting like part of them.
Oh, Big Dog almost messing up that pickup there, and Trickster looks to be off on someone else. Or at least trying to go around and try and figure out what direction they're going. Big Dog trying to take some body blocks, as I think Kate is well aware of the situation that they're in. And I think the Trickster, for most part, is just kind of phoning this one in and going, I just want my Mori. I just want to finish off the game in style.
Literally, what's more stylish than killing someone and saying thank you?
Yeah, pretty much. Now, we still have not seen that last gen pop, and they were right on it. I'm thinking that maybe they're trying to set up a 4-man escape here to avoid that Mori, potentially.
You know, it would really be insult injury, though. Like, you won the match, and then you just brutally murder someone on their team, and you're like, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the win.
You're not wrong, but it looks like
salty.
they are very specifically trying to leave this gen up so they don't get the Mori. I respect the play. You know, at the end of the day, though, I think I would just kind of call it here and say, okay, kill me, do what you want.
I would honestly walk up to the Trickster, crouch down, and be like, take me.
I mean, I can respect that at this point in time. Alright, but yeah, this she's going for a while. Let's see where those survivors are. Literally sitting at the Gen 99, just waiting to have an opportunity to where Kate here is not in mortal danger.
Heal the Rancor person, yes.
I mean, yeah, that doesn't exactly do much. They need to, like, be on top of the exit gate and just try and avoid here. And looks like that's what they're doing.
As a tree, someone's in a locker.
Yep, they realized that they were out of line of sight for Trickster. Obviously, Rancor not activating in a locker, or rather, the information from Rancor, rather. And so now they do have potential to try and get a 4-man out.
I wanted to see what the Kate's plan is here.
Well, it looks like, for the most part, she is just kind of chilling in that locker, trying to avoid Rancor.
I didn't realize, what is she wearing?
Hey, you know, just a mixed match of a few different things. A nice, you know, fall dress along with a Christmas sweater. Nothing too strange or different.
I feel like this is something you wear if like your mom is like, hey, get up, get dressed, and like don't turn on your light.
Well, it looks like they did succeed in their plan and did end up getting a 4K out. Respect to them in that regard. You know, they really took that one seriously and opted not to let the Trickster get a Mori here.
I honestly, that looked like a really fun match. Like, if I was that Trickster, fun.
Oh yeah, like you said earlier, they were absolutely just vibing, kind of chilling, relaxing, all things considered. But with that being said, we do already note the result of the match, but let's hear the final score from Vega.
With the match score being 50 for Dead on Second Hook and 4 for We Can't Loop, with a final score of 107 for Dead on Second Hook and a final score of 130 for We Can't Loop.
Very nice. Well, congratulations to We Can't Loop. Really well played. And once again, on Dead on Second Hook, nicely played as well. You know, them being a newer Team 2 comp, I think all things considered, they did an amazing, amazing job. And as they start practicing more and more, I think we'll see even better play from them.
Definitely.
But with that being said, we will be ending the stream here. But before we do, Fire Gems, where could they find you if they do want to come visit your stream in the future?
If they want to come visit my stream, they can find me ttv/firegems, FIREJEMZ. I was also moderating in chat, so you probably saw the little mod symbol by my name every once in a while.
Yep, and if you do want to actually, I completely forgot about it being a thing, but I did create a quick shout-out method. So if you do want to do !co-host, you'll be able to find their link right there. I just put it in chat for everyone to see. And with that being said, I am Guiltspire, your host and league organizer. If you want to come find me, I'm over on twitch.tv/Guiltspire. I'm an educational killer main, here to teach killers how to play killer and survivors how to play against killer. With that being said, as always, I hope you did enjoy the show, and we'll see you next Saturday for our 6 p.m. premiere match. Bye-bye!
Bye!